Yo, what's up? Today we're going to be talking about how I got the film look on all of these shots, most of which were shot on iPhone. We're going to be using Davinci Resolve today in combination with Dehancer. Let's get into it. I'm going to jump in here into the color tab, and I'm going to pick a few clips that I used to kind of break down how I got this look. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm going to actually start with this one. So as you can see, this looks pretty nice. If I turn this off, you can see that it's just typical iPhone footage. I'm pretty sure I shot this in 4K, and this was shot on iPhone 11, so not even the newest iPhone. So let's break this down one by one. I'm going to turn off all of these nodes real quick. The first one is this color space transform. This is just going to allow us to get like a much flatter look and profile to start working with. I do this by adding color space transform and changing my input color space, my input gamma, and my output color space all to Rec 709. Then I'll change the output gamma to Cineon film log. This also might be a good time to mention that I'm not at all whatsoever a pro colorist or even a colorist in general. I just know what I like and know how to mess around with some knobs in order to get there. I'm actually going to skip these two nodes for now, and I'm going to turn on the Dehancer node, and I'm going to explain why in just a second. So Dehancer is a plugin for Davinci Resolve that allows you to get film look really nice and easy, and there's a ton of settings that you can customize to get the look just how you want it, and we're going to go through them. So the first thing in input here, I'm going to change my source to Cineon film log. Second thing here is the film. I use the Kodak Vision Free 200T. Now I think it defaults to, this one, which, if your footage starts looking like this, that's the reason why. At Film Developer tab here, you can mess around with things like with contrast boost. I don't really think I'd messed around with this too much. I think I just added some color boost. Film compression, which in this clip I don't have enabled, and some of the other clips I do. Not really sure what expand does, to be honest with you, so we're gonna skip that one. Here the print can adjust like exposure and contrast. Color head, I didn't really mess around with this at all. Film grain, of course, we're gonna have that juicy little film grain. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Halation, obviously we're gonna add some halation. In this case, I think I just left it at the default. Usually I'll turn it down a bit just because too much halation can make things a little cheesy. Bloom, just left that there at the defaults, which is nice. Film damage just enables like streaks kind of like throughout your footage. Kind of hard to see. Film breath, I'm not super sure what this does exactly, so I didn't really mess around with this. Gate weave, same thing. Overscan is cool because it allows you to kind of create these film borders with just a click. Turn off these side ones, and you can really fine tune it. Obviously I didn't use this in any of the clips that I used. However, I can definitely see myself using this. Vignette, super straightforward. Monitor, this is nice if you want to see like your false color and see if anything is clipping or anything like that, which is pretty cool. You also have like a clipping indicator, so obviously you can see some clipping here in the shadows, of course, like I mentioned earlier. Output, which is cool because it gives you this like slider that adjusts. It's kind of like a master slider to turn the effect on and off for everything that you did above. There's also a LUT generator. I haven't really messed around with this. I assume it just exports a LUT of all the settings that you used. You can see this look isn't finished as to what you saw originally, so I like to use this plugin in combination with Davinci's already built-in tools. I find that just like works better for me in my workflow. I ended up just kind of bumping up some of the values here in this light node that I did. And I think I just kind of like cranked out the shadows a bit here. Pretty sure that's all I did. And then in this color boost node here, as you can see, that's where I got a lot of these colors. And not sure, I think I added some color boost down here. And I love using this color warper tool because you can select specific colors directly within any given, clip or frame and adjust them manually. Select it, drag it down a bit, and give it some brightness there, some saturation, I mean. You can do the same thing with the sky. I'll do that sometimes. Once you select, if you go up and down, that'll change the hue. So we'll go more purple or more green. And if you go left and right, that'll change the saturation. So here we go, desaturated, more saturated. So that's why I really love this tool. And that's something that Dehancer is not going to provide you. And this is like one of my favorite tools in Davinci here. All right, so the next one I'm going to walk through is this one, and I'm going to use this as an example because the original I feel like is such crappy footage. It's such a flat and kind of dull looking image, but using this kind of setup, I was able to get something really, really interesting in my opinion out of it. What I started with, I just copied the exact node tree that I had from the previous one. I ended up turning off this light node, which, I didn't use in every single clip, only the ones I felt like needed it. Did give it that color boost. As you can see, I added a lot more blue in the shadows just to get rid of all this gray. You'll notice I was able to like pull out these like really nice sun spots that are beaming clouds, and I really wanted to focus on that. The other clip I want to briefly touch on, and I'm going to go backwards here for a second, is this one. Mainly because I feel like the original footage was so shitty, especially since this was shot at night with not a ton of lighting. Obviously, we have the stadium lighting here. We turn off everything here, and then we turn on Dehancer. You're going to see that a lot of this, red tint is all over the shadows and stuff. And so, using like the native Davinci tools, I was really able to like pull some of that out, really get these nice like darker blues. And this clip I want to run through as well, just because again, the original is just such bad, or what seems like really bad footage, specifically because some of these shadows are just so dark, especially in this area and over here in this thing. You can just see there's like almost nothing there. It seems like, see, using that light node, I'm able to bring out those shadows, really just pull in this slider over here. I knew when I shot this that, this teal, this yellow, and all these like bright colors were gonna look really nice once I gave it that edit. Yeah, and then once we get the plugin in there, boom, everything just looks nice and crispy. All these colors look really nice. I will say though, there is a bit of a learning curve. There being so many different options here, it can be a bit overwhelming. And, if you don't know how to like set this up properly, like I showed you on the defaults, it kind of ends up looking like junk. So, I would say that's a downside, but on the flip side of that, having all of these options gives you so much flexibility in terms of what you can do and how much you can kind of build your own look, if you will. The other downside to it is that it definitely takes a lot of CPU power. I can definitely feel things chugging a little bit once I have it on. The other thing I want to mention that's actually pretty sweet too is that Dehancer actually has a mobile app. Now, the app doesn't necessarily pair exactly with the desktop app, and one downside is that I believe there's separate licenses. However, you can also just plug in a video on your phone if you're on the go, and you can get the film look pretty easily here too. In this case, I already had some edits on this one. But yeah, just like that, I got this really nice like footage. It is a bit laggy to like preview. However, I think it's totally fine. That's like pretty much what I would expect on something like this. But yeah, you can really easily like go through and mess with a bunch of different settings here. Here we have the print, expand, the compression. It's pretty similar to, the desktop version. There's also some presets that you can use. Try this one. Yeah, I'm not super crazy about that one. Let's test it out on some other footage. And here's like the difference between the original footage and the edit there. I personally don't see myself really using the mobile app, to be honest. I'm much more of a desktop person in general. The more I can be off my phone, the better. But if you're someone who doesn't like Davinci Resolve, or you enjoy, using things on your phone, then, this is definitely worth checking out for sure. The last thing I want to mention, and full disclosure, I did receive a trial license to test this out in exchange for a review. That being said though, I would never, ever give my dishonest review or review something that I wouldn't see myself using. After testing this out and trying it on all this different footage, honestly, I can see myself continuing to use Dehancer. It definitely allows me to get a look that I like and that I enjoy. If you guys want to check it out, there's a code for 10% off in the description below. And if you have any questions or specifics, or if you want me to go back and review any other footage, please let me know in the comments. That's it. Thank you so much.